You have so much potential. You have the ability to do amazing things. You have the ability to experience amazing things. And I don't want you to get to the end of your life and realize that you wasted it all. Because one day you will wake up. I don't want you to wake up when it's too late. Your life, your talents, your abilities, your skills, all of these things can be used for absolutely incredible things. Like, you have no idea. It doesn't just help the people around you. Yes, it helps people around you. It helps, family, friends, strangers, but it helps you. The things that you dream of, the things that you wish you had, the things that you wish that you could accomplish, you can and you will. I want you to become the person who you've always wanted to be. And the first step to that is not wasting your potential. By the end of this video, you will feel equipped to start new adventures, to try new things, to do the thing that you always wanted to do, but you were so scared of doing. You will feel inspired and empowered to pick up that goal that you set aside, that you buried because you were too fearful. You were scared of disappointment. Something happened and it just threw you off course. You will feel ready to pick that back up. Your dream life is waiting for you. You just have to take it. So now let's get into the things that you, my friend, will be doing in order to get what you truly want out of life and to optimize your skills, your abilities, and your talents in order to align with what you want and align with it in a way that you love. Not just getting rich through doing sketchy stuff or things that don't align with you, okay? We're utilizing what you have and we're utilizing what you love. And the first thing, and this is extremely important, I need you to hone in, okay? If you're listening to this passively, lock in, focus, because this is really important. And that is to challenge your mindset. Everything starts with what you tell yourself. Everything starts with what's going on in your head. My mom always told me, if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're right. And that is because what you tell yourself, what you are feeding yourself, what you are training yourself to believe is what's going to end up playing out. How you're communicating to yourself, what you're telling yourself, what you are forcing yourself to believe through the words that you are feeding yourself and telling yourself consistently. That is what makes the difference. Believe that you are capable of doing amazing things. Believe that you are capable of doing outstanding things. It does not matter if you've done it before. It does not matter if it worked out before. Believe that you can make it happen. On a daily basis, you are telling yourself terrible things. You're telling yourself that you can't. You will have an idea and be like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, that's unrealistic. Like, that's not going to happen. You're constantly telling yourself that day in and day out. Do you know how brutal that is to yourself? You are aware that when you are speaking to a child, you have to be careful of what you say to them because it will hurt them. It will beat them down. It will shape literally how they see the world, how they see themselves, and how they see life, and how they see how life will play out for them versus others. But what you don't realize is that when you're telling yourself all these negative things, you are doing that to yourself. There is still a kid inside of you. At the end of the day, this is your first life. You're still learning everything new. And so you are still a kid. You're just older. And when you're telling yourself all this stuff, it's just as hurtful, just as bad as if you were saying it to a child. So be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself, be loving to yourself, because you deserve that. How do you expect yourself to function optimally? How do you expect yourself to trust yourself? How do you expect yourself to go after things if you are constantly pulling yourself back because you are constantly telling yourself that you cannot do it, that it won't work out, that that's not for you, that you're just not this, constantly over and over and over again? You must catch yourself when you're doing this. You must create a conviction about how you speak to yourself. You must develop respect for yourself. The things that didn't go right, the things that didn't work out. Yes, it's not fun. It doesn't feel great. And yes, you still need to learn from them. But there's a way that you do it while still having care for yourself, while still respecting yourself. So catch yourself every time you down talk yourself. Catch yourself, replace those thoughts, redirect them, and correct them. Once you begin to do this, you will see a shift. And it may not be something that's like crazy, like astronomical. But there will be a shift over time. You will begin believing the positive things that you are telling yourself. You will start to respect yourself more. You will begin to love yourself more. You'll begin to see your value more. You'll be able to see your abilities more clearly. You will unlock hidden abilities that you never knew were there because you continuously suppress them in order to fit into the negative narrative that you've been telling yourself. Next, you will need to recognize what you're good at. Most people move throughout their life without being aware of the vast amount of skills, the vast amount of abilities that they truly possess. If you don't know what you have, how can you use it? How can you optimize it? And how can you ensure that you don't waste it? So when you're figuring out what it is that you actually have, what are your skills? What are your abilities? Please do not guess on this. This really sets the stage for what you will be doing next in these next steps in your life and what you are going to pursue. So don't just pull something out of a hat or, come up with something randomly on the spot. Really think about this. So I'll ask you a couple questions for you to think about and write down the answers to this so that you can keep track. What comes easily for you that you notice does not come easily for others? What is it that you are exceptionally good at? And this is a big one to me because it really exposes a lot, but what is something that you're good at doing that others struggle to do and you get frustrated at them not doing? And I'll give you an example of this. If you're somebody that when people are struggling, they can go to you, they can talk to you, and after communicating with you, they feel way better than what they did before. You know the right things to say, you know the right questions to ask, and you know how to lift them up. And you struggle because other people don't seem to be able to give that to you. And it's not from a lack of effort, it's from a lack of ability. That is a sign that you could have the gift of encouragement or the gift of comfort. So that is an example of how that could play out for you. Again, it's not that other people don't want to, it's that they don't have the ability to, the skills to. And that can really expose what you have because it may come very easy to you, and that's why it can be so frustrating when other people don't do it, because you're like, it's so easy, why isn't everybody doing this? And it's like they're not doing it because you have a skill, you have a gift that other people just do not have. And if you need to, ask people around you, ask people who are close to you about their advice and what they see from a different perspective. Now is our goal creation. This is a little bit of a process, so take this step by step. Now that you have found what your skills are, what your abilities are, what you are good at, find your connection point. Your connection point is where your existing skills, abilities, and talents align with something that you genuinely love and enjoy doing. An example of this is if you are a naturally good speaker. You can talk to a group of people really good and it's very natural. And then on the other hand, you love gardening. That is where your passion is, that's where your enjoyment is, that is where your heart is. These may seem like things that do not connect at all, but there is a connection point. And for this example, the connection point is teaching an in-person gardening workshop. This combines both the skill of public speaking and the love of gardening to best utilize you. So find that. You want to combine your both existing skills, your talents, and your abilities with your passion, and that is your connection point. Now that you have this point, we are going to be creating a goal. Now this goal is going to be SMART goal oriented, and if you don't know what a SMART goal stands for, that means specific, measurable, obtainable, relevant, and time bound. So back to the gardening example. Instead of saying, I want to teach a gardening workshop, instead the goal would look very different. The goal would say, I teach in-person gardening workshops, teaching 2 classes every weekend in the city of Chicago. I host a rentable space that can hold up to 50 people a class. I will achieve this goal within the next year. This is way more clear, way more defined. measurable, and you know exactly where you're headed. You know what you are trying to achieve. So know what you are going to accomplish and know your specifics. And you can use this example as an outline as well for your goal. Now it's time to create a plan. Do not skimp on this, okay? This is very important because people who have a plan are 10 times more likely to accomplish their goals. So this is extremely important. The first thing when you are creating your plan is that you want to figure out exactly what you have to get. What is it that you have to attain? Is this paperwork? Is this a degree, a certificate, approval? What materials will you need? What type of stock will you need? Will you need to reach out to suppliers? Will you need to reach out to vendors? Will you be creating your stuff in-house? Understand what it is that you will actually be needing. And then understand how much work you are actually going to have to put in. Know how much work you're going to have to put in and know what work you will have to put in, and organize it in a clear step-by-step, easy to follow manner. You want to make this as easy as possible for you because it makes it easier for you to want to get up and do it every day. And as you are creating your timeline, make sure that your timeline for your plan aligns with the timeline that you gave for your goal, and adjust it, because if you are wanting to accomplish this goal in a year, the amount of work that's necessary for that is going to be different than if you were to say that you wanted to accomplish this goal in 2 years or 5 years or 10 years. There's going to be a huge workload difference. So make sure that you include that in your plan as you are preparing and as you are deciding what steps you're going to have to do and when. Finally, when it comes to your plan, make sure that you write it down somewhere. You will be like a chicken without a head if you do not write it down, because you will get lost, you will get mixed up, and you will eventually get completely off track. So make sure that you have it written down somewhere. If that's your notes, your journal, your Google Doc, whatever, get it down somewhere. Now that you have your plan and now that you have your goal, the big thing here is to dedicate yourself to becoming good at it. In this stage right here is where most people tend to give up. It's where most people tend to fall off. Focusing on becoming great in your field, it builds confidence in yourself. It builds self-esteem. It builds your self-respect. It ensures that you are focusing on the right thing. You're focusing on growing instead of focusing on the easiest way to win. You're not focused on making mistakes. You're not focused on the lack of progress that you may be seeing. You'll be focused more on what is in your control and what will pay off in the long run, and that is improving yourself. Devote yourself to making this goal happen. Devote yourself to improving yourself and doing the best that you can in what you are doing. This stage, again, people tend to fall off. People tend to get distracted. They start to focus on the mistakes, the failures, the discouragement. Or sometimes they just start to focus on other tasks, like creating a ton of different goals that they're all trying to manage at the same time. And the reality is that is how you lose it all. You need to be devoted, you need to be focused, and you need to make sure that you push through until you accomplish what you desire. Now, something that is really important that you keep in mind during this journey is that you don't want to push away opportunities. Imposter syndrome, not feeling like enough, feeling like you don't belong. These are things that people commonly tend to feel, especially when starting something new. And what that can do, what that can cause you to do, is to push away opportunities when they are presented to you. Someone can come to you and offer you an opportunity and you push it away. You could block your own opportunities through not putting yourself out there. You're not giving yourself a full chance. You're not taking risks on yourself. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and accept the benefits that can come. You have to be willing to put yourself in positions where things can happen for you and not be afraid to do that because you're scared of if you're not enough, of if you don't have it all together, if you have this imposter syndrome. Like, you need to push that to the back, feel what you need to feel, get it out, but don't allow that to affect your opportunities, your work, in your progress. Wasting your potential is not a one-time thing. It is built from continuous and constant decisions. Decisions to give up, decisions to not develop, and the decision to push away opportunities. Make the decision now to change the direction of your entire life, because it's not too late. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope that you enjoyed, and I hope that this video helped you in some way. I hope that it guided you on your journey and that you will become the best you that you can be. If there are any topics that you would like me to cover, please leave them in the comments below so that I can make a video on them and I can make my channel helpful for you. Please consider subscribing if you did enjoy and you want to see more videos like this. Please make sure to take care of yourself physically, financially, and mentally. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.